Well, good morning, conference. It's great to see so many of you here in Llandudno today. It's an incredibly important conference for us all, and I couldn't think of anywhere else that I would rather be than with all of you here today on Valentine's Day. Well, that's not strictly true, everyone. Let me be very honest with you. My plans with the Hollywood heartthrob Robert Downey Jr. appear to have fallen through, so I'm afraid you're stuck with me for this morning. Okay, perhaps I'm being a little bit delusional, but can you blame me? Because delusion seems to be in the air at the moment. Just ask the Nationalists, Plaid Cymru and Reform UK. Both parties are painting the up-and-coming Senedd elections as a two-horse race and insisting that they both offer real change. See what I mean, conference? Delusional. Plaid Cymru can be described as many things, but change is not exactly one word I would associate with them. They have been in lockstep with Labour in Cardiff Bay time and time again, helping them push through budget deals and, bizarrely, vanity projects like expanding the Welsh Parliament to the tune of £120 million and those dreaded 20-mile-per-hour speed limits, which everyone across the UK has now officially heard of. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, conference. The thought of a Plaid Cymru government scares the living daylights out of me. They are a threat to our country because a Plaid Cymru government would be a dangerous and disastrous solution for Wales. And we cannot allow that to happen. We must also do all we can to block Reform from getting their hands anywhere near the levers of power in Wales. Reform politicians, or as I like to call them, the failed Conservative rejects, like to talk a good game, but they fall flat on their faces when it comes to policies and plans for Wales. Because, let's be honest, they simply haven't got a clue as to what they're doing. And does that sound like a responsible government to you? No. There you go. Policies aren't the only thing that Reform is lacking. They are lacking candidates. We haven't got the faintest idea as to who they will be fielding, and if the previous Brexit party, also created by Nigel Farage, is anything to go by, mark my words, conference, Reform will implode. Frankly, Reform is nothing more than a limited company, whereas in stark contrast, the Welsh Conservatives are a real political party shaped by fantastic members like yourselves with a raft of bold policies which will ultimately fix Wales and get us back on track. We have a great Senedd team, each of us working tirelessly under the leadership of Darren Miller to help shape the ambitious and credible plans to fix Wales. And that's why I'm standing before you all here today to outline more of the educational policies that I'll be introducing when we form the next government in May 2026. I'm under no illusion, conference, that improving our education system is going to be a mammoth task, but it's a job that I'm ready to take on and take head on. The first important step is turning the tide and looking into Labour's incredibly flawed curriculum for Wales, which is being pushed onto our children. In a nutshell, the curriculum for Wales has indeed been a disaster, with teachers lumped with implementing a vague set of principles and huge gaps in interpretation, meaning our young people are not getting the education they need through knowledge-based learning. And it's not just me who has concerns about this ideological-driven piece of work. Schools, staff, education experts, and even schools inspectorates have flagged concerns. Yet the Labour government continues to dig its heels in and, in typical Labour style, conference, refuse to admit that they've made a mistake. Scotland introduced a similar curriculum in 2010, and the results there should have been enough to stop the Welsh government from pursuing this any further. But as we all know, Labour politicians in the Senedd seem to know best. In Scotland, they have seen declining attainment, variable teaching methods, difficulty in assessments, and PISA scores rapidly declining. Doesn't that all sound familiar to you all here today? We are indeed heading in the same direction, with rock-bottom PISA results, overstretched teachers being pushed to breaking point, and 20% of students leaving primary school functionally illiterate. And what I fear the most is that the worst is still yet to come. Conference, we simply cannot continue on this path. So I will waste no time in launching a full root and branch review of the curriculum, and let me be clear. If robust changes cannot be made to the existing piece of work to improve outcomes, I will not hesitate in scrapping the curriculum for Wales. And instead, we will return to knowledge-based learning, making sure students, teachers, as well as staff and parents are taken on that journey with us. By doing that, we will free up teachers' time, allowing them to actually get back to teaching, prevent variation in teaching and assessments, reduce inequalities, and most importantly, provide our future generations with better learning outcomes. Now, Plaid Cymru and Labour like to throw £120 million off your hard-earned cash at putting 36 more politicians in the Senedd, but not the Welsh Conservatives. We do not need any more politicians. We need more dentists, doctors, teachers, and nurses, and that's exactly what we're going to be delivering. We know how difficult it is to get a doctor's appointment. We know how difficult it is to see an NHS dentist. We know our hardworking nurses are overstretched, and we know our teachers are seeing their workloads rapidly increase with each passing day. That is why a Welsh Conservative government will take immediate steps to plug the gaps in our workforce whilst giving at the same time students a major helping hand. So, conference. Any student who studies dentistry, medicine, nursing or teaching at a Welsh university and remains working in Wales for 5 consecutive years will have their tuition fees refunded. Because we are serious about tackling the big issues facing our country's workforce. And that is why, if this is successful, which I am very confident it will be, we will look at expanding this scheme even further. As I've already touched upon teachers are spending less and less time delivering lessons in our classroom. Their time and attention is being increasingly spent on firefighting, dealing with behavioural issues, as well as paperwork and pastoral elements. That's not what teachers signed up for. When children and young people need help and support in a school setting, they often don't know where to turn for support. Support can sometimes be patchy or even non-existent. Since taking up this role, I have spent a lot of time listening to students, teachers, parents, as well as support staff on what can be done to better support them. And that's why when Darren Millar becomes our next First Minister, I will be introducing guidance counsellors in every single secondary school across Wales. These guidance counsellors, who will be selected by the schools directly, will act as mentors who can help students navigate through their lives and future career prospects. They will act as a single point of contact, giving students the consistency that they need when seeking guidance and help relating to school pressures, their home lives, and their futures as well. Not only that, but these guidance counsellors will help alleviate the burden on teachers and allow them to spend more time in the classroom doing what they're there to do in the first place, which is to teach conference. This has been a major success in other countries, including America and Finland, which I saw firsthand during a recent visit. Put simply, guidance counsellors can boost well-being in schools, they can improve attainment, boost outcomes, reduce teachers' workloads, which in turn will mean fewer sick days and less reliance on costly supply cover. Conference, another thing putting huge strain on teachers' workloads is having to deal with the bureaucracy around additional learning support needs. Any child with additional learning needs in Wales is legally entitled to an individual development plan, known as an IDP. But we have known that each plan takes around 7 hours to develop. Again, that's time being taken away from teaching. Conference, the ALN workforce is strained. 97% of teachers surveyed said that they did not have enough time to carry out their duties. It's not just teachers that are struggling. Unfortunately, many children aren't getting their plans put together, which can be instrumental in unlocking support because of the huge workload that they're under. It's simply not possible to process them all. That's going to change, Conference, because with a Conservative government in place, we will support our teachers and students who have ALN by reducing waiting times for diagnosis and individual development plans, by standardising the assessment pathway and bringing in more professionals to tackle the backlog, working in conjunction with my health colleague Peter Fox. We'll be placing more ALN specialists into schools. We will provide sustainable funding for ALN to schools and local authorities. And we intend to create school hubs with teaching expertise from independent schools to support mainstream schools as well, when in return for independent schools leading the way with these hubs, we will return charitable status to them, exempting them from business rates. Now, despite what Labour politicians will have you believe, independent schools are not the work of the devil. They often lead the way when it comes to offering high-quality support for those with ALN, so we must make full use of them. Conference, I am conscious of time, so I will bring my remarks to a close. But with all of the policies I've just announced and built and hope to build on that I have previously said in conference, we will be talking more about banning mobile phones in classrooms, introducing essential life skills, and clamping down on bad behaviour by automatically excluding any student carrying a knife. Please be in no doubt. This suite of policies has the power to dramatically transform our education system, protect our school community, and most importantly, improve outcomes to our future generations. And there is plenty more to come, which will be revealed in the forthcoming weeks, which focus on the education workforce, the use of phonics, adult learning, and the financial stability of further education. And for the record, conference, I will not be removing £30 million from Bangor University, unlike Reform. Labour have been in power for more than a quarter of a century, and instead of fixing our education system, they have inflicted more and more damage, which has left our country with the worst educational outcomes. Plaid Cymru might try to present themselves as an alternative, but let's be frank, conference, the separatists have been in Labour's partnership in crime, as well as carrying out some daft policies over the years, and we've seen it time and time again. The separatists like to offer grand visions and slogans, but when it comes to the classroom, teachers and children do not need gestures. They need resources, they need stability, and they need clear standards. And then there's Reform, conference. Reform, and excuse my language, conference, don't know the difference between their backside and their elbow. I wouldn't give Reform the responsibility of running a bath for me, let alone our great country. Our children simply cannot afford another generation of excuses, experiments, and slogans. Wales deserves better. And it starts with honesty about where we are. It comes with the courage about where we need to go and the determination to get where we need to be. And that's exactly what the Welsh Conservatives will do. Conference, with your help, we will fix Wales. So I hope we can encourage everyone to vote Welsh Conservatives on 7th of May to get our country back on track. Thank you very much, and I wish you all a very happy Valentine's Day.